Okay, hello YouTube. Want to give you a little outline of a good video to go watch. It was a live by Greg Towns yesterday in the late afternoon, I believe it was. Uh, his channel is the Punching Bag Skunk, and you should go over there and hit him up. You'll like, if you're old school, you're gonna like what you're seeing here. He'll let it rip. Uh, no different than me. He's one guy I could sit and disagree with and agree to disagree without a problem, because he's coming from an old school perspective, and he's a former very great amateur, and I say great professional boxer. He was out there fighting these guys in the 80s and into the 90s. This guy's got it going on, and he's blunt and he's clear with what he wants to say. So, Greg, we love you over here, man. Everything in that video that Greg was saying, I agree with. Things like, well, Canelo ain't that great, and he's not, folks. I mean, you guys, you haven't grown with greatness, so it's hard for you younger people to really understand what greatness is when you haven't grew with it. Talked about, fight selection going on today. These guys aren't fighting. They sit and wait and connive and cajole and cajole and all these things, and only do a big money fight, sit and wait and wait and wait and wait to promote the fight. And there's a lot of things that aren't about money, folks. And if sport's going to turn into, look at basketball. They had the NBA All-Star game. Nobody watched it. Nobody. I was getting into, now where I'm from is big college basketball territory. So I grew up and have watched college basketball more than NBA basketball. Started getting into the NBA really with Tim Duncan, and it progressed on through with James, and then James went off to political left field there. I just quit watching it. It's no longer interesting. I hate it. So I don't watch it. And turns out more people are thinking like me, because nobody's watching it now. And that James, a guy you all say, oh, he's the greatest thing that ever graced the basketball court. He's responsible for destroying basketball. And that's what's happening to boxing. All this other crap's being pulled into it. It's all about greed and money. And, oh gosh. If you guys could have seen this much of what I've seen, and I'm not talking about on the television, I'm not talking about the several times I got to see the USA team competing against the Russian or the Cuban teams. I'm not talking about time I got to spend around Ace Miller. I'm not talking about time I got to spend with Big John Tate. Not talking about seeing Mike Tyson as a kid in the gym. I'm not talking about all this, all that. What I'm talking about is being young and growing in the gym and watching these guys come in, and these guys giving 1,000% of themselves to pull themselves up out of poverty. These guys having backbone and heart and pride in their accomplishments and pride in their craft. You don't see that today. Damn boy will come in, make $10 million, get hit too hard in the chest and take a knee. Get hit too hard in the head, take a knee. Talking about the dangers of the sport. That's the risk of the sport. Nobody's talking so much about it with concerns to some of the other sports. Boxing is dangerous, and it is only meant for an elite few. That's why people used to love boxing, but today everybody's boxing. Today there's assembly lines in the gym. It's a different world. It's a different world. And I try to tell you young kids, you younger guys, look at the sport through a different color of glasses. Through different shades in the glasses. Don't be looking through it in rose color like everybody's looking at this today. All this required, Dana White had said in an interview a while back, he said, if I was coming through today, I'd be world champ. I'd just beat the crap out of everybody. Because nobody has the heart or the backbone. Dana White would be right. It wouldn't take too much. It's not going to take a lot of these guys too much. There's guys coming up today that ain't playing it. It's not many of them. I could name probably on one hand the guys that I know. Only one of them is going to be on the U.S. Olympic team representing the country. Only one. The rest of them, they're little boys and trying to get into a man's world, and they're not going to make it. And the other one won't if he changes course that much. Everybody's talking about footwork, defense, footwork, defense, footwork, defense. Footwork and defense is great. But all we're watching today in most of the fights that we see is footwork and defense. We're not watching fights. That's why I was telling everybody the other day, go watch Larry Holmes versus Mike Weaver 1. Look at that fight. They're punching, no holding. I don't think one guy held one time. The fight didn't make it to full 15 rounds. Yes, back then it was 15 rounds, folks. They can't even fight 12 today. But they are striking from the opening of the first round until the end of the fight. There's no let up. No let up in it. Another good one to fight, whom a guy that I just adored, was the hero to heroes to me, Big John Tate. Go watch him fighting Mike Weaver. Go see how that fight ends. Watch it from start to finish. Those guys are fighting like bobcats right to the end of the fight. Look at the shocking ending to that fight. You don't see nothing like that today. You don't see nothing like that today. When you do see something that's similar to it, it's a rare exception. We used to see it all the time. That's what boxing used to be. That's what the fight game used to be. And now it's a sport that you play. And we got to do something different with boxing. This YouTube mess, God bless these guys. I'm all for people making money. Don't misunderstand me. But you know something? Boxing is a sport that one should only get into with one's shield intact and one's heart intact and one's gut and grit intact. It's not the thing to get into to turn a fast dollar. It's not the thing to get into to not perform and to suck up the dollars. You put money in the bucket and you take some out. And that's what Greg Town said. And he is so true. So go over there and give him a watch. You'll like it. And you younger boxers, you need to see what the older guys are talking about, what the older guys are expecting, what the older guys are seeing. Go watch guys like that. Go watch the Boxing Scholar. Go watch Real Talk Boxing. Come watch us. I mean, we're all talking good sense here. We're not sitting around discussing pay-per-views for 6 hours. We're not sitting around talking about the soap opera, gossip, or fashion that these guys are wearing, or their latest love affair, or who got caught driving drunk or whatever. We're talking boxing. So check those channels out and get you a good, clear, clean insight into some real boxing, young guys. And if you are a young boxer, gear it up, step it up. Do it for the love of it. And the rest of the things, if they're going to come, and with enough hard work, they will come, and you'll be the better for it. Much love to everybody. Hope everybody has a great week.